Give them hell!
Good morning, ladies and gents, back with another Conquerors Blade video, part 2 of my mini kind of video guide series. As always, hit that sub button if you are interested in Conquerors Blade or learning more about it. Plus, as well, leave me a comment down below for the next video guide that you want me to cover. This time around, we're going to be covering treatises and doctrines. Now, treatises are very easy to get hold of. You can get a lot of these very, very quickly by playing through, just kind of doing your quests, doing your weekly quests, doing your battle pass and things like that. You will get a lot of these very, very quickly. Some events will be dropping these as well, so just bear that in mind. Now, all you have to do is right click that and it will take you to the War Scholar screen. Now here, it does look a little bit confusing. It's not, I promise you. You will have 4 icons for the treatise. You will have 1 icon for the battle schematic things. Now, if you have not unlocked all of the units, these battle schematics are very, very good. However, for those of us that have unlocked all the units, they're not overly useful, although they are good to actually unlock all the battle schematics and then go and sandwich those into unit experience models. So even if you are really, really experienced and you got all the units or all the units that you want, still use your battle schematics, and then you can go off, or the battle relics, sorry, and you can go off and actually just then convert all those into unit experience models. However, we are only here and we are only interested in treatises tonight. So up here in the top right, you have all of the amounts of stuff that you've got. These are treatises, these are battle relics, these are ancient treatises. These drop for certain events and they sometimes get sent to us. To be honest, I've not noticed much of a difference between these and these. Apparently these have a better kind of drop rate for the higher schematic, the higher doctrines. I've not noticed that at all, to be honest, so I'm not too worried about them. Now, at the minute we have an event going on where we can, or we have a better chance of getting the Epic Doctrine 5 doctrine. This does change sometimes, so bear this in mind. Now, how this is actually split up is you have range specific doctrines, you have infantry specific doctrines, and you have cavalry specific doctrines. I think they're the other way around, but you get what I mean. We've got one for range, we've got one for cav, we've got one for infantry. So if you are just focusing, you are just wanting certain ones for, say, your melee infantry, then you are going to be wanting to use the melee infantry node on this map. Each of the nodes have a general pool of doctrines that they can drop, such as kind of siege fighter doctrines and things like that. However, if you are looking for a certain doctrine for a certain thing, for cav, for ranged, or for melee, make sure you are using the correct node for them. All you got to then do is literally press excavate site. If you've got 10, you can excavate site with 10 of them straight away. There is no increase in chances. I promise you, there is no increase in chances in terms of pulling better ones. It is all totally RNG. But you can literally just keep banging this, keep banging this, keep banging this, and then eventually you will start pulling blues, purples, decent ones. We do not have legendary doctrines in our version of the game, so just bear that in mind. We don't have any. This is the bit that everybody still gets a little bit confused upon. I am going to try and break it down for you as best as I can and make it as simple as possible for you. So this screen here has 8 different nodes on that I need to fill up with 8 different doctrines to actually then form a new doctrine. What you want to be doing is blasting through your greys and your greens definitely and getting rid of them. Just, they aren't overly useful. Just get rid of them, chuck them in here, just so you've got a better chance of getting something slightly better in terms of doctrines, which is going to benefit you a little bit more. Now you have these uncommon wisdoms, the rare wisdoms, the epic wisdoms. These count as a doctrine for their related colour. So these 4 will actually, once I put them in here, they will count as 4 epic doctrines. So if you've only got, say, doctrines that you want to keep, but you still want to actually play with the system and try and get something out of it, then these are very, very useful to have. When you put in these as well, once you fill it up to 8, depending on the quality of them, it will actually tell you exactly what you are likely to pull down here. So this first bit here is rare or epic wisdoms, 88% chance. That's fairly high. However, I have then a 12% chance of pulling a tier 1 or a tier 2 doctrine. I believe the tier 1 doctrines are the same doctrines that you can pull from the War Scholar, but obviously tier 2, 3, 4 and 5 are slightly better. So unfortunately at this point I have no chance whatsoever of pulling a tier 3, 4 or 5. So this tab here is tier 1 or tier 2, so it could be one or the other. This one is very useful though, because actually all of these greens, hopefully I'm going to pull an epic doctrine out of this, which will be very nice to show you. No, it's a blue one, but that's alright. Blue is still better than green, and obviously once I've actually fill in, say, with... I'm not going to actually do it because I need those. With 8 blue doctrines, obviously you can see the chances are actually changing quite substantially. So you obviously always want to be using the higher tier doctrines for your better pulls. You can combine these, so you can have literally, you can have greens, you can have blues, you can have purples, and it all kind of changes all these stats down here. What I would say is keep your epics together. However, spread across your blue, greens and greys, that's fine, there's no real bother to be honest, but I would say keep all your epics together. Don't go spreading those with other stuff unless you have what is known as a pure wisdom. This can be gained from the battle pass, special events, things like this. You press this, use pure wisdom button. I haven't actually got any at the minute unfortunately, but what this will do is make this bar fill up a lot quicker, and it will actually give you a higher chance of pulling something later on down the line. So in terms of tier 3, 4 or 5 doctrines, pure wisdoms are very rare though, so don't just go blasting through those. Keep those. If you, I would say to be honest, you would probably want to be using these with blue kind of doctrines max, because the epic doctrines have such a good chance of pulling you so decent anyway. You want to be using the pure wisdoms really just with the blues, just to give yourself a quite a substantial buff and kind of pull something better from that, plus fill this bar up as well, because as soon as you fill this bar up and it hits just before it fills up, any doctrine kind of alchemy that you do, once this bar is just about to fill up, and it will tell you in that little green number there just how much it is going to fill up. I will just chuck some doctrines in to show you this. So right now I know that's going to increase by 40. Once I get it all the way up to this end of the bar, if I get say 2,900 or 4,900 sorry, and then my next pull is going to be 100 plus, what that does is actually it will give me a tier 5 doctrine no matter what I put in here. So even if it was 8 greens or 8 greys, if that is going to fill the bar up, that is going to be a tier 5 doctrine coming out of this bad boy, which is a very good and useful thing to know. A very useful thing to know as well, because I think some people are still confused about this, is it does not matter what type of doctrine you put in, it only matters about quality. That's it. So it does not matter if you're putting in 8 ranged doctrines, you could still pull cavalry, you could still pull a general, you could still pull an infantry. Just because you're using ranged doctrines does not mean you're going to pull a ranged doctrine out of it. The only thing that counts and the only thing that matters is the rarity on them. That is it. I hope this has explained the system a little bit more in depth for you. If it has, please hit that like button down below. Again, let me know what the next kind of video guide that you want to see is, and I will endeavour to get onto that as quick as I can. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that sub button, all that lovely fan doobie-tastic stuff, and I hope to catch you out on the battlefield.